Hello, my super Scorpios, and welcome back to your general reading for April. Do remember this is just a general reading, so please do take what resonates and toss the rest. Also, check out the other signs in your chart if they do resonate with you more. However, if you do enjoy this, please do like, subscribe, share, all that great stuff. It does help my channel. I do appreciate it. It's free, fun, and it helps to get to the other Scorpios. So other than that, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into your reading. April is a big month. It's a month of changes. It is a change in the cycle. Okay, so it's been a long time since we've had a change in the cycle. We have an eclipse this month. We have a double moon this month. I think we have a moon that is in Jupiter late in the month, 21st, somewhere in the Taurus area actually. And so there is going to be some changing, some shifting, some new beginnings, lots of things like that. So if you're feeling shifts in energy, that may be why. So lots of new opportunities as well, but let's go ahead and get started here, shall we? This first row is indicative of where you are now. Do remember time is fluid in tarot, as is gender is neutral. So where you are now could be where you've been for months, or could be just where you've been for a week or so. So we will go ahead and take a look at that. The second row is where you are going or what you don't see coming as well. And your third row is the advice from spirit. So could be kind of what you need to take heed of or things you need to think about as you progress through the month and even into next month. Next month meaning, of course, May. This is your April reading. So let's get started here and take a look at what we've got. So we have the Three of Cups in reverse, okay? So this is telling me that you maybe not feeling so jubilant right now. Could also mean that you're on the outs with certain people in your crew, your tribe. Could mean that you are not feeling the best right now. With those people, there's strife, there's conflict, something of that nature where you just aren't feeling very celebratory. You're not feeling very much like spending quality time with those people. So perhaps you are having a little bit of a tiff with someone. Could be in your, in your close inner circle. But I do feel like there's something going on there where maybe you just need to kind of have a smoothing over, okay? I don't see anything major. I'm not getting any major vibes off that where it's like something huge, a huge blowout, anything where you're like having, major issues. But I do feel like maybe there's something where there's been a misunderstanding, there's been words, maybe you're just not talking to somebody because something was said, maybe it was even said over text and the tone was just taken wrong since it's hard to read over text, things like that. But I just do feel like there's something that needs to be kind of smoothed over. So you might want to kind of address that early on to kind of get the mood settled for the rest of the month. If you haven't already. And I do just feel like it could be even something with coworkers, that kind of thing. So you might have had some words with coworkers and it's caused some friction there, some tension there, but I do feel like you'll settle that out. But I do think the sooner the better. You don't want to carry that throughout the month. So do get to try to smooth that over if you can, okay? So whatever conflict you've had there, I do think it's something minor, no big deal, but try to smooth that over. Your second card here is the Nine of Pentacles. So I feel like you are doing well, okay, financially, with abundance wise. Maybe you've gotten a promotion at work, maybe you've had a cash injection with something, maybe your tax return came in, maybe you got some inheritance, maybe you just got, a bonus at work, something like that. But I do feel like financially, abundantly, you're doing well. Maybe you got a job opportunity or an offer, maybe, dividends came in, something of that nature. And that could be leading to some of this conflict and strife. Could be that you got a promotion over somebody else. You got a bonus more than somebody else. Somebody at work found out you were making more than them. It just came out to be a little bit, again, I don't find it to be anything major, but a little bit of strife there. And it could have to do with your, your abundance. Okay. So maybe they're a little bit jealous. It could be a jealousy issue. So maybe just try to smooth that over. I don't feel like it's anything major. But I do feel like you're doing very well for yourself. So that's a really good positive thing. Again, this is further confirmed here with your World card too. So I do feel like something has come to fruition for you. It's come to kind of a full circle. You feel like maybe you've completed something. You've been looking to get a promotion. You've been looking to get this raise. You've been looking to get this bonus. You've completed a task, completed a job, completed some stage. Maybe you've been completing a course to get that raise you needed, something like that, but it's come to fruition for you. And I do feel like you are coming into yours with that. So something that you've done has allowed you to complete a cycle, if you will, to allow you to have that abundance. So you've got the fruition, you've got the success, you've completed that cycle. So you've been working on this for a bit. It may have been, like I said, it might be a promotion, it might be a something. And this could be also, like I said, this is a conclusion, a successful conclusion. So perhaps this is a lawsuit and this was a cash injection from that. Perhaps this is something where you had a settlement with somebody or a divorce or something like that. And, a lot of times you don't look at this divorce as successful, but, maybe you've been battling this one a long time and you finally got the conclusion that you wanted. So it's led to, your cash injection, and that's what's caused some friction here because, when you win, somebody else inevitably feels like they're on the losing end. So that could be what's happening there. But I do feel like you have kind of won, so be it, at something, and you're feeling very much abundant about that. And as well you should, because you did battle for this. I feel like this was something that was a work in progress. You put a lot into this, you've battled this out, you've worked hard for this, and you've gotten that. So kudos to you for sure. So you've set yourself up in a good place, and by no mistake or by no accident, this is something you have put effort into. So I feel like you've done the work, you've done everything you needed to do to get this. Let's see what we've got that you don't see coming, okay? Or what may happen throughout the month. So I see the Page of Wands in reverse, okay? So this is like news coming in, but with it being in reverse, I feel like this is you kind of maybe possibly shutting out some things. And with this being under the Three of Cups in reverse, I feel like this is where you've completed a cycle to elevate yourself. So I feel like this is where maybe you are shutting someone out, okay? You're finally done with certain people, certain things, certain issues, or you have gone to a level and you have dealt with people's pettiness to get there. You've put up with certain, things for so long, maybe people talking behind your back, maybe it was the spouse in a lawsuit, maybe it was other people just kind of backbiting you a little bit throughout the process to get where you are. But I do feel like this person, this Page of Wands, that is still kind of trying to hang around or bring in their energy to you, you're kind of done with, okay? So I feel like you're not hearing them anymore, okay? I feel like you're done with that, and that's part of this, this negative energy. You're either going to smooth it over with them and just tell them you're not dealing with that anymore. They can either deal with your situation and be cool with it, or they can take it and go, but you're above that now. You're not going to play with that nonsense anymore. You've had enough of it. You've put up with it long enough. They can be accepting or they can be leaving. And I feel like that's just where you are. You've gotten to a point where you feel like you've put up with plenty of people's crap for long enough. So I feel like that going forward is kind of like a stand your ground almost type of situation for you. So this kind of leads to this Queen of Swords energy, which I feel is absolutely your energy. And it's coming under your Pentacles energy. So I feel like because you've worked so hard, because you've been able to get this position in your life, and by position, I don't necessarily mean job position or whatever. I feel like what I mean is this station, this ability, this feeling of, you've worked hard enough, that you've earned enough respect in yourself, that you don't feel like you need to put up with people's crap anymore. So whether you've, taken classes, whether you've worked your way up, whether you have fought and battled through things to get where you are, to get to this completion, this world level. I feel like you have put yourself in a position where you feel strong enough and tough enough and seasoned enough to where you are feeling that you don't have to tolerate it, and you are feeling like you are in a good, solid, stable, steady role now, okay, in your life, a good place. And I feel like this is like, you know, coming through mid-month to late month, that's where you're starting to feel like, you know, this is where you start to feel like maybe for a while you put up with a lot of people's crap. Maybe you've always been that person who's like tolerated more than you should, or you've dealt with more than you should. Maybe you just didn't really like to deal with the conflict, or maybe you're just like, I don't want to have drama, so I'll just let it go, let it go, let it go. But now you're kind of at that point where you're like, you know what? I don't have to let things go. I'm tired of the nonsense. I'm better than this. You can either stop or you can move along, but I'm not going to listen to it anymore. So I feel like that's the dominance, the state of your life, that level of maturity that you are gaining, okay, throughout this month. The Queen of Wands in reverse below your World card is just, to me, I feel like there are going to be people who aren't used to this and they're not able to deal with this. So this could be somebody who, you know, is a best friend. This could be somebody who is was an equal to you, or somebody that you felt was a mentor towards you, either at work or in your life or in your relationships, friends, family, whatever. And they don't like this, okay, because it's changed their dynamic. So this could be somebody who, you know, you were their wing person, okay? They've always been the person that, you know, they've kind of taken you and felt like you were the person that they could drag along, and they kind of dominated you. But now that you are in a place where you are no longer allowing them to be that kind of sidekick position, you're expecting to be on a level, be even with them, be, you know, given the same respect, the same quality, the same treatment, the same level of everything that they have. You know, to be quite frank, maybe they've taken advantage of you. Maybe they've treated you less than they should have. You know, maybe you've considered them a really good friend, but they've treated you like a sidekick and nothing more. And you never really noticed it, maybe even because you just saw them as such a elevated figure because you felt you were here. But now that you see your real worth, you know, you're not the Robin to their Batman, you are on their level, you know? And so you're kind of like, wait a minute, you haven't really treated me with the best respect, you know? And they don't like that. They don't like being called out. They don't like that dynamic change. They don't like being able to run the show, be the center of attention at all times. And it's really affected your relationship, okay? So I think this person, you may have strife with this person. They may not want to even really spend time with you anymore. So this may be a person that you just may have to not really be able to be as close to as you once were, because you refuse to take a back seat to them in every sense. And that just may be something you have to plan for. You have to expect that you may lose a friend or what you considered a friend because they weren't really that much of a friend in the first place. They were somebody who wanted a wing person. They were somebody who wanted a minion. They were somebody who wanted somebody to stand next to them that they could use to make themselves feel better, feel stronger, look better, look stronger, have somebody look up to them. And when you stopped being that person that, you know, basically looked to them as they were the greatest thing on earth, all of a sudden they didn't really like that. So were they really your friend in the first place? Maybe not. So you really needed to reevaluate that friendship in the first place, okay? So I do think there's going to be possibly a person here that you've been friends with, or let's say friends with, but very close to probably for a very long time, that may, you know, this month you may really be reevaluating your friendship with. Potentially even, I feel like, possibly losing. And this is all because you have come to full circle success. You have realized your full potential, and they don't like that. It's under this World card. And they can't handle that. Okay. They can't handle that you are more than just a sidekick. Okay. So let's see what Spirit has to say about that, and then we'll get clarifiers for all these. So down here we have the moon, and it's in reverse. So the moon a lot of times tells me, that you're uncertain about things, you've been confused, you're not clear. But with this being in reverse, I feel like you are clear. I feel like this is where your clarity really has come in. I think Spirit is telling me you are 100% clear. You know that you're not putting up with people's crap anymore. You know that you're done with the drama. If people aren't going to respect you, if people are not going to show you the respect that you deserve, if they're going to keep backbiting you, if they're going to keep talking about you, you're going to tell them to either treat you the way you deserve to be treated or keep on going. Okay, I feel like that is what you're coming into. You're coming into a level of self-respect, self-love, self-care, recognition, transformation, maturity, all of that is telling me that you are now 100% clear in how important it is to make people understand that you aren't going to put up with their crap anymore. I really do believe that. So I feel like Spirit's telling you that. And it's coming right under these cards here that are what I said to me is reading as people that you're telling people that if they can't treat you with respect, or if they aren't treating you well, or they're friction with you because they don't like the way you are, being successful, then they need to go. Okay. If they can't support you, then they're not your friends. Okay. And I think that's what Spirit's telling you here. Clarity on that. Okay. 3 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. So 3 of Pentacles, it's people working together financially, possibly in other ways too as well. But again, in reverse. And I think it's saying here, you worked hard to get here on your own. It's giving you a newfound sense of self. So anybody who's not working with you, okay, they're not working with you. They're not supportive of you. They're not supportive of your success. They don't need to be part of anything that you get, okay? So if they are there to support you throughout, if they're there to help you throughout, those are your people. That's your tribe, okay? But if these people are either working against you or they're not working with you during your successful time, they don't deserve to reap any of the rewards of your success. They don't need to share in the success, okay? So you know what, if they try to all of a sudden piggyback like they were, supporting you the whole time when they never did, okay, they backbit you, they talked bad about you, they made fun of you, they mocked you, they said you would never make it, or whatever it may be, or they weren't super supportive of you trying to, take the next step or whatever it may be. Absolutely do not include them in your success, okay? That's right next to the moon too, where, in reverse. Be clear in that, okay? Spirit is telling you, be clear in that. Know who is there for you and who is not, and do not let anybody try to piggyback off your success, okay? If they weren't there for you when you were here, don't let them try to piggyback off of you when you're here, okay? Remember that. And then the last card here is the Fool card. And the Fool card is coming below this person who I do think you're going to end up cutting off friendship with. I truly do, especially if they can't come around to it, or they can't handle that you are now on their level because they only enjoyed you when you were less than them. And it's under your World card where you've come to success and fruition. And I think what this is saying is that you don't need to care, okay? Spirit is telling you that you need to realize what you've accomplished, what you've become, your success, and that if this person is foolish enough to view you as nothing but a sidekick and can't appreciate you for anything more, then you need to be the fool yourself as far as not caring. Be happy-go-lucky, enjoy your success, and do not think twice about this person being cut off. Do not think twice, okay? Because you're not losing much. You're losing really somebody who basically took you for granted. Okay, they took you for granted. They took you as somebody that they use. It's kind of like, and this is completely not to say that you are not a beautiful person. You might be the most beautiful person in the world. You might be like Claudia Schiffer or something. But you know how a lot of people have that friend that they say, okay, I take this person out because they're much less attractive than me to stand next to me so that I look more attractive. Well, I feel like this was the friend that did that. I'm successful, so I take this person who's a little bit less successful out next to me so I look more successful. But now that you're super successful, or now that you've gotten recognized and recognition and you've completed whatever you've completed to come into fruition, now all of a sudden they're like, well, you don't benefit me. Well, if people only look at you for what you can do for them, they're not your friends anyway. They're foolish, and you'd be foolish to worry about them. So be the fool if that's what it takes, and just skip off into the sunset with your success, and don't ever even look back. This fool is not even looking back or worried about anything, okay? They are just trotting ahead, okay? Minding their own business. So do it, okay? Now let's see what your psychic, this is the psychic deck. We're gonna get some clarifiers here. Try to see if we can get any more enlightenment or advice or anything that might help you with this. But I think it's pretty clear here that, you know, you need to just really start, start the month out with determining who it is that you can really consider friends and who you consider false friends, because, it's kind of like, you know who your friends are when you're down and out. You know who your friends are when you're at your highest. You know who your friends are when you're at your lowest, because you can look and see who's there for both, right? Okay, so if they're not there for both, then you need to start questioning why. If they're only there when you're here, then, if they're only there when you're here, there might be a reason too, but if they're there for both, that's something. Okay, so let's see on this 3 cups in reverse, suffering in silence, okay? So again, you may have been suffering in silence with this situation from the beginning. Again, this might have been where, you were really struggling to get somewhere. People are talking about you. You're fighting to get somewhere. You're battling through a court case. You're battling through, work issues. You're trying to take tests and get through something. You're trying to fight for positioning, a lot of stuff, and you're really suffering and no one's really helping you. Nobody's got your back. Okay. But you do get through it. We see that. We know this. So who was there and who wasn't? That's what you need to think. This 9 of Pentacles, emotional loss. Okay. And I do think this is where you're going to start seeing, who was there and who wasn't. I think that's where you start seeing, once you start getting some success, and people start popping up or people start leaving because they don't want your success around them, it takes away from theirs, or people start popping up because now all of a sudden they do like you when you've got some funds, those are the people you might need to cut off, and that's where emotional loss might come in. But again, you have to put that in perspective. Is it really loss if they weren't really your true friends anyway? The World card. Positive movement forward. Well, absolutely. I mean, that's fruition. That's coming into your success. We know that. That's when you're going to be making that movement forward. You are going to start really making things happen. You're going to become a whole new person, and really spiritual movement forward, because this is where you're going to start really getting your strength, realizing that you don't have to put up with what you've been putting up with for a long time. Okay. Page of Wands, the universe. Okay. And this is, again, where I think the universe is going to give you strength. It's going to be working in your favor. The universe is coming in with this world fruition card, and it's saying to you, you don't have to put up with these people anymore. Now is when it's going to give you the strength and gumption to say, you know what, either you can stop and be my support system, or you can just go. I don't need you anymore, okay? And the universe is going to conspire in your favor to help you with that strength. And this is when you'll have your Queen of Swords energy. So Queen of Swords, love begins. Okay, so your Queen of Swords energy, you know, this could be a point where maybe you do find some love. Because, you know, once you start getting that strength, that's when your higher vibrations come out, okay? And when you're putting out higher vibrations, you are feeling better, you're feeling stronger, you're more dominant, you're more assertive, you're obviously having success in business or wealth, abundance. So all of these things are portrayed out into the universe, out into the air, out into the vibrations, out everywhere. People see that and they respond to that. I mean, think about it. If you see somebody walking around looking miserable, looking with their head hanging down, do you feel like that person is somebody you want to date? No. But if you see somebody who looks confident and strong and you know they're successful and they're you know, looking their best, feeling their best, all of that, that's the kind of person people want to date. So this is maybe where your love starts beginning. Maybe somebody is really starting to be attracted to that Queen of Swords energy you're putting out. Queen of Wands, solar plexus chakra, okay? And I do think this is going to be an emotional, you know, that's your emotions. That's your emotional needs, wants, you know, also healing, pain, desires, all these things emotionally. And I think you're going to have that. I do. I feel like you're going to possibly lose somebody that you've been very close to for a very long time here because they may not be able to handle your success. It may be affecting them, and you may, because you are now able to make a discernment between who is good for you and who is bad for you and stand up and say, no more will I tolerate people who aren't the best for me. You know, it may be emotional for you. You may have to cut people off and it may be very emotional for you, especially somebody you're very close to, but you'll know what's best and what's not, and the universe has your back on that. But I do feel like, you know, that is something that is going to, you know, be effective for you. I think it's going to spiritually, emotionally, all of that. I do think it's going to affect you. You know, if this is a person you've been very close to and you come to a realization that, you know, I was just a sidekick for this person. I was just the person to prop them up and make them feel better about themselves, you know, and now that I'm better, they don't even want to be around me, you know, that could be very painful. Okay. But it is something that you have to consider. So how about this moon in reverse, truth? And again, like I said, you see it clearly now. You see it 1000% clear what you need to do, who you need to accept, who you need to get rid of, who you need to tolerate and who you don't. And you're not going to tolerate any more crap from anybody. You have worked too hard and come too far, and you are shoving out that Queen of Swords energy, and you don't need it anymore. You are clear in your truth, okay? And how about this Three of Pentacles in reverse? Harmony. So again, I feel like you are willing to work harmoniously with people, okay? If they have been there supporting you, if they have been there trying to back you, help you, they want to work with you from jump, they've wanted to be a support system for you, and they're willing to, you want to work harmoniously with these people. But if they are people who have worked against you or made fun of you or mocked you or not been supportive of you, you're not going to deal with it. And with this being under the love begins here and under the emotional loss, I do have to, you know, wonder for some of you if part of this was, you know, this shift is possibly, like I said, maybe you did come out of a settlement, a divorce settlement. That's where some of your finances came from. You worked hard through that battle, through that settlement. That was hard for you, but it gave you a newfound strength. You did get the financial funds, you did win that, and that got you out of that. And because you're out of that, because you're no longer putting up with crappy people, this is where you're now open and free with this strong Queen of Swords energy. Love comes in, somebody new, because you're now freed up, and they are willing to work harmoniously with you. And maybe they've been supportive throughout this divorce, throughout this proceeding, and now they're willing to work with you, you know, moving forward. So this could be because of the way this is lining up, that the emotional loss of this person that you suffered in silence with for so long in a marriage, for many of you, if this is a divorce situation, a separation situation, that kind of thing, that this could be a new love, a new harmonious love that you're able to work with. And this is going to be a very good, truthful, positive, happy, harmonious love. And I feel like that because you're no longer accepting of anybody who's not, 100% on board with you and supportive of you. You learned completely from the experience here to not accept anything less. So this person could be a really, really good potential love here. Okay. And so this may be what that is. And you could be like a fool in love, which is not a bad thing. That's like, you're a fool for love, and that sometimes is the best kind. So this is a possibility for many of you that this could be a good, positive, truthful love, if that is. Because like I said, from the jump, this could be a divorce proceeding. This could be something where you're in a lawsuit, and that could very well be what that is. So keep that in mind. That's a very, very possible thing. And the Fool card here, material and spiritual prosperity. Like I said, you are moving, you are getting rid of something that's negative. It's under your positive movement forward. Your world is successful. You're having to get rid of something that's just been using you, honestly. And it is going to be emotional, but in the end, it's going to bring material and spiritual prosperity. And especially because you've learned now that you're only dealing with people that are positive for you. You're only dealing with people that you trust. You're only dealing with people that are on board for your benefit, that want to work with you, that want to help you. You've learned that. And potentially you're dealing with a love here that is working harmoniously with you. A love that's begun, that's backed by the universe here. So, and it's under an emotional thing. So again, you've got emotions involved, harmony with someone, love is beginning. This could be a good, positive movement forward in a love situation as well that is bringing you material and spiritual prosperity. So if you're working with that, I do feel like there's a love potential here, very much so for some of you if you are coming out of a relationship and the separation has left you kind of battling through this and struggling through this, but you've come out abundantly and you've come out stronger. And for many of us, you have to come out stronger, frankly. You just do. You have to, because it's such a trial and tribulation, right? So let's pull 3 of these general advice cards to close this out for you. Hopefully they'll help you or give you some insight that might help you along the way. And we will close this out for you. Also, just to quickly give you some numbers here, we have the 6 popping up twice here and the 9, which is a 6 in reverse, obviously. Other than that, I'm not seeing a whole lot of repeat numbers there. Let me look on here. 21 pops up twice. So 6s and 21s. So if those mean anything to you. All right. So here's our first one is Great Awakening. Walk in your truth and stand firm in your light. And again, I think that's the whole concept of this, is walk in your truth. Learn who is for you and who is not for you, and only walk with those people. Okay. Stand firm against anybody who has not been your supporter. Do not ever go back to dealing with people who don't have your back 100%. You won't regret it, okay? Trust me. Stick with those that you can trust, that are the truth for you, and that will have your back, okay? The second one is things are not what they seem. You are only trapped by your illusion, okay? So I think this is more down here with your spirit's advice, and it's telling you that, you know what the truth is, okay? You know what you need to do. And if you don't go forward, if you don't get rid of people who are treating you poorly, then that's what's going to trap you, okay? But other than that, things are not what they seem. You know what's real. So if this person here is pretending to be your friend, if these people over here are trying to jump on the bandwagon like they supported you now that you have something, now that you're stronger, now that you're better, then, that's not what it seems. That's not who they are. That's not what's going on. And this. So don't be fooled by that illusion. go with what you know, trust your gut, okay? And you know what's right. What is has no bearing on what will be. And I think this is beautiful because you started up here suffering in silence and you end the month, or even going into May, possibly, you know, with material and spiritual prosperity and harmony and truth. Okay. So do not define where you'll be in a month's time or so by what is now. You would be surprised what can change in a month, especially if you change your perspective on things and people and how they treat you and what you will tolerate. And right here in the dead center, when you start feeling yourself as the Queen of Swords, and you start changing the way you give out your vibrations and love can begin, and you start changing the way you allow people to treat you, it will change everything. So keep it together. Keep your truth, keep your trust in yourself. Make sure that you are practicing self-love, self-care. Let nobody walk all over you, and only take the best, okay? And you will have the best, alrighty? So I hope this was good for you. If it was, please do like, subscribe, share, all that other great stuff. And otherwise, I hope to see you back this weekend for your weekend and next week energy reading. Bye.